Before I get into my top 3 tips and provide you a bundle of strategies to regain the body, the energy and the vigour of your younger years, I want to chat to you briefly about why I'm here coaching you as MANOVER40 to regain your superpowers. It's because I have been where you are and I have felt the pain of not feeling like the man that I used to be. At 38, I was a typical high achiever. I owned an exclusive private health club and I had a large team of staff working for me. I travelled the world 30 weeks per year with high profile clients, serving as their strength and conditioning coach wherever they might be. I was a competitive GB duathlete. I performed several Ironman events each year. On the outside, with my clothes on, I still looked pretty good. But I knew I was deteriorating. I knew I was losing my mental motivation for workouts, for work, and generally for life. I knew my body was definitely changing, and despite all of my efforts to prescribe myself the best possible workout schedule and nutrition plan, I was still looking softer, just generally not as hard or muscular as I was used to, and definitely a bit softer around that lower stomach and lower chest areas. I didn't sleep well at nights anymore, and I didn't have the motivation or possibly even the ability to satisfy my wife like I used to. I was tired, and I was becoming depressed at being the shadow of the man that I used to be. By 40, this was even worse, and everything I tried was failing to help me. It was at this point I searched everywhere to find just something or someone that could help me provide some answers that I just couldn't find. Now, as a top level strength and conditioning coach, I already knew the body inside out. I understood nutrition totally. I understood exercise physiology. I understood hormones and endocrinology. I knew how to get my athletes into top shape for events. I knew the extra little strategies necessary to get my other clients in shape for TV, films and photo shoots. But I never really gave the full respect to what was now happening to myself and my body as I was getting older. And it wasn't until I started researching and studying more and more, and also learning from another highly respected coach overseas, that I started to pay enough credit to the very real fact that as a man over 40 who spent the majority of my years under stress, that my testosterone levels were now massively declining. My cortisol levels were now chronically elevated. And my liver and gut, the two most important internal systems in the body, were now most definitely tired, sluggish, worn out, and not functioning as optimally as they were 10 or 20 years ago. Guys, these factors combined meant I could no longer prescribe myself the same workout routines and diet strategies that I did as a young man and expect good results and success, because my body was now vastly different to what it was back then. Now, these workouts and diets now placed an added stress on my body and made all these factors worse, and this led to a lack of results. It led to rebounding weight gain every time I restricted my calories and dropped a couple of pounds, and a very distinct drop of energy and my male superpowers. Guys, do not ignore these very real facts. This fight is real. If you're here watching this video, it's because you also no longer look and feel like the man you used to be. Now, this may well in part be due to your lifestyle, your poor diet, your lack of activity, but it is also very, very much due to the fact that from the age of 35 onwards, our male hormones start to decline, and our physiology most definitely changes quite dramatically. Now, this is also further pronounced if you are a typical type A personality high achiever that has many years of putting yourself under stress. Now, whether you think you deal with stress well or not, internally those stresses have an effect. So guys, this now leads me to my top 3 tips to fight back and regain those superpowers and not accept our decline as a fact of getting older. But these tips are all integral in my 4 system, and with this system I put myself back into being in top physical shape and having the strength and energy of when I was back in my 20s and 30s from a very bad place. And guys, trust me, I can help you do that too. If you're overweight, unhealthy and struggling to lose weight, these tips will help. If you find you're constantly yo-yoing between weight loss and rebounding weight gain, these tips will turn things around. If you want to regain the strength, muscle tone energy and power of your younger years, guys, you need these tips. So my tip number one is the fact that you need to increase your testosterone levels. You see, testosterone is the key hormone for driving our male well-being, and unfortunately it is a clinical fact that from the age of 35 onwards our levels drop on average 1-2% every year. Now, declining testosterone has a massive impact on us as we enter our 40s, and it results in muscle loss, a loss of bone densities, our tendons becoming stiffer, a gaining of body fat, the accumulation of fat around our lower belly and our lower chest area, aka that man boob appearance, and also for some, the loss of those male sexual powers. So now I've told you the bad news and told you that you need to now change this fact and increase your testosterone levels. How do we do it? Well, here's my most simple strategies for you to implement right now. Firstly, you need to exercise on a regular basis as this boosts testosterone. However, you have to exercise at optimum and varying levels of intensity. Exercise too hard and too often, testosterone levels drop. Exercise too long, testosterone levels drop. Exercise too little or too infrequently and it will have no effect. Ideally, to get maximum testosterone boosting effect from exercise, you should aim to exercise 4 to 5 days per week, but at optimum levels of effort, and ideally at a length of time between 30 to 60 minutes. You should also always aim to use some form of resistance, such as dumbbells, kettlebells, or even body weight. In addition, to help boost testosterone, you need to eat the right amount of the right foods. Both overeating and undereating and restricting your calories too much actually lowers testosterone. So to boost testosterone, you must ensure that each meal has a good level of quality proteins, quality carbohydrates, and essential fats, as each of these macronutrients, when eaten correctly, boost testosterone. Guys, if you restrict carbohydrates and go low carb or zero carb, now as a man over 40, your testosterone levels will ultimately drop more. Guys, if you're overweight, your testosterone level will drop more. Also, supplementing with key vitamins such as vitamin D and zinc becomes increasingly important, and you should possibly even consider one of my secret weapon supplement strategies for the man over 40, ashwagandha. Guys, there are many strategies and habits to implement to help boost testosterone, and they're all implemented in every plan I create for any of my over 40 males. But the last big gun I'm going to give you today is a must if we want to improve our testosterone levels and live better overall, is to improve our deep sleep. Now again, as a man over 40 with life's demands and stresses, and also with decreased testosterone levels and increased cortisol levels, which we'll discuss in a minute, our sleep is no longer what it used to be for many men. But here lies a vicious cycle. If you do not get enough sleep, if you do not get enough quality deep sleep cycles, your testosterone levels will fall. Not to mention your fat storing hormones will elevate. You must make a concerted effort to follow some good sleep routines to improve your deep sleep if you want to boost testosterone, look good and feel good. Now, a few moments ago I mentioned cortisol and how it affects good sleep. Well, chronically elevated cortisol has masses of detrimental effects on a man over 40, also including lowering your testosterone levels. So in fact, my tip number 2, and an integral part once again of my 4 strategy, is to lower cortisol levels. So what is cortisol? Cortisol is an important hormone that is known as the fight or flight hormone, as it is a hormone that is released to put us on high alert, ready to fight or run in an emergency. Now, as your body perceives stress, cortisol, the stress hormone, is released. Your heart rate is elevated, your blood pressure is raised, a flood of sugar is released into your bloodstream, and certain key physical processes and functions are shut down so that your body can focus on the emergency right ahead of it. It prepares you to fight or flight. Now, in today's modern high-paced society, and after 40 plus years of life's battles and challenges, we have suffered frequent bouts of stresses in our lives. By the time we have hit our age, you are a very rare and very fortunate man if you have not experienced stresses from work, finances, marriage, bringing up children, family, sickness, deaths, etc., 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 and so the list goes on. All of these stresses are seen by the body as emergencies, and however well we think we deal with them, internally the body is still releasing cortisol and going through a fight or flight process. Now, if you're a type A, high achieving personality, studies show that you're even more prone to cortisol release. If you are now in your 40s and beyond, and especially if you're a typical type A or hard-working individual, you will have chronically elevated levels of cortisol due to these stresses. Now, with this in mind, it's at this point that even the added stresses of calorie restriction, carbohydrate restriction, overly intense exercise, sleep deprivation, excessive caffeine intake, excessive processed food intake will only make the situation worse and increase your cortisol levels further. So okay, now we have become clear that as men over 40, we very probably have elevated levels of cortisol. Why is this so bad? Well, firstly, and as mentioned a short while ago, chronically elevated levels of cortisol drive your testosterone levels down. And so for the man over 40 with already declining male hormones, this will only make matters worse. When cortisol levels are elevated, blood sugar levels are elevated. This then results in high levels of insulin being released. Now this has many negative effects on your health and your body, but two very obvious ones are the fact that insulin is a fat storing hormone. With elevated levels of sugar in your blood and elevated fat storing hormone insulin present, you're prone to storing these sugars now as fat. Not good, obviously. Chronically elevated levels of cortisol also destroys your good gut bacteria and affects digestion. It also places a further strain on your liver. When your gut and liver health is compromised, you will never look good, you will never feel good, and you'll never make physical progress. Your metabolism will be on power down mode and your hormones will be in decline. But we're actually going to move to that in a moment. So for my tip number 2, to regain your superpowers and your body, we must, as men over 40, manage our cortisol levels. So simple strategies to achieve this would be to not starve yourself of calories or eliminate carbohydrates from your diet, as this will now elevate cortisol levels. Also, you must prevent putting too much stress on your body from excessive high intensity workouts or chronically long gym or cardio sessions. As much as you guys may belittle or dismiss this tip, as a man over 40 who wants to have the body, energy and superpowers of your younger years, you must now seriously learn to de-stress and relax and incorporate these strategies into your life. Now, guys, simple strategies now like yoga, meditation, mindfulness and even walking are activities that are now going to help you get success. Guys, trust me please, when I tell you that I am very happy performing tough workouts. I'm also very happy prescribing them for my clients, but they now must be balanced with recovery and relaxation elements to balance and manage your testosterone levels and keep your cortisol levels balanced as well. If you want real, long, lasting, sustainable, maximum success, looking and feeling good, it's no longer just about hitting the gym and depriving yourself of calories. Guys, it doesn't work anymore. So tip 1 and 2 was to boost your testosterone and lower your cortisol levels. Lower your cortisol by managing your exercise, your diet, walking, relaxing more. My final tip today, number 3, which I've already mentioned slightly, is to repair your liver and your gut. You see, these systems are responsible and integral in just about every single physical process in the human body. And when they are not operating and functioning in full health, we will never look good, we'll never feel good. We'll never be able to effectively improve our appearance or our body in the long term. Guys, after 40 plus years of life, we've placed a huge amount of stresses on these systems. Believe it or not, every single emotional stress, psychological stress, physical stress places a strain on our liver and our gut. Now, then consider that over 40 plus years of life, how many toxic products we've inflicted on our systems, processed foods, takeaways, alcohol, drugs, medications, antibiotics, caffeines. Guys, the list is endless. We have destroyed a whole host of good gut bacteria and we've created a very slow, sluggish, ineffective liver. Guys, if you're wondering why you can no longer eat the foods that you used to eat without now indigestion, bloating, acid reflux, it's because your gut and liver are not as effective anymore. If you're wondering why you possibly suffer more joint inflammation or maybe even gout these days, it's just the same. Your liver and your gut are not acting effectively anymore. If you're wondering why you're gaining weight each of these days, it's because your metabolism is on power down mode. And that's also mainly in part due to the fact that your liver is now sluggish and slow, and your metabolism is ruled by your liver. if you're wondering why there's an increased softness around your lower stomach and your lower chest, and you're getting that man boob appearance, look, maybe you're possibly struggling to satisfy your partner like you used to. Well, this, as we've just discussed previously, is because your testosterone levels are falling and your estrogen levels are rising. Guys, why is that? That's because, in part, it's due to your natural aging process, but also because chronically elevated cortisol and your natural declining hormonal system combined with an ineffective liver and poor gut health just makes this situation even worse. If your gut's not acting well, and your liver's not acting well, your hormones will be powered down. Guys, don't even underestimate the fact if you have declining mental health and lack of motivation these days, that's also governed by your gut bacteria. Guys, your liver and your gut are integral in so many aspects. I understand you may well be raising your eyes right now thinking, whatever, I just need to exercise and cut my calories. You see, guys, I didn't even pay enough attention and respect to all of these factors. That's why I couldn't get myself back in shape. I used to think that just to look good and feel good, it was just about following the right diet and exercise plans. Guys, it's not anymore. You know, that's important, and possibly more important than ever now as MANOVER40. And my coaching is based upon providing exactly the right exercise and nutrition to each of my clients. But, a big but, if there is one huge lesson I can give you to take away from this video, it's the very real fact that the best diet and workout in the world will have minimal effect on you now if you do not start to re-optimize your liver, your gut, and your hormones. You cannot look good or feel good on the outside when on the inside your body is now drained and not functioning optimally. Simple habits and strategies to start to repair your liver and your gut would include starting each morning maybe with a warm lemon water, or maybe even some apple cider vinegar to help cleanse and replenish that liver. You also obviously must need to manage your alcohol intake and manage your level of processed foods. And possibly even consider for a period of time going in gluten dairy free to help your gut recover. Possibly even consider supplements such as dandelion and milk thistle for your liver, or probiotics to rebuild the bacteria in your gut. Guys, there's a whole host of simple little strategies you can implement. But now I've given you a whole bundle of tips and strategies you can take away today. Please pay attention to them. And I promise you, you'll have increased success in looking and feeling good again and transform your body if you just listen to what I'm saying and start to pay attention. Guys, you also have the opportunity of clicking the link below if you wish to discuss with me how I can incorporate these strategies and a whole load more alongside a personal exercise and nutrition plan into a bespoke roadmap to help you achieve your personal goal. Now guys, if that is of genuine interest to you and you are truly committed to regaining your superpowers and really transforming your body, then guys, click that link because I'm here to help. But guys, there's a whole bundle of strategies and tips for you there. But please, one thing I'm going to really ask you, pay attention. Pay attention to boosting your testosterone now. Pay attention to lowering your cortisol now. Pay attention to repairing your gut and your liver. Guys, you will never look and feel good again until you start to pay attention to those factors. Good luck, guys. You can still be the man you used to be, but pay attention to other factors now too. Good luck.